Look at that. Look at this. 722. Ooh, it's been a good. All right, let's go and see if we can play. I want to play reg speed just to catch up with the chat. You got another 5 minutes to win $10. That's nice, isn't it? And if we win 100x, it's $100. If we hit a 200x, it's $200. And if we hit the million, it's $1,000. Well, that'd be nice. All right, nice hand. So he's limped his bet. He's checked. I'm going to go just below 2.9. And nice little queen. We're hoping he's got a hand like Jack 9. King Jack. Kind of tough for him to fold certain hands. I don't think we get raised here ever as a bluff. And I do think he might sometimes not for an ace. So I think I'm just going to jam and who knows. But if he calls this, let's say half the time that he'd call 2/3 bet, it's really worth betting all in. And he definitely has hands. And I just don't think he raises that frequently. He might raise the King Jack, but King Jack's calling anyway, so it doesn't matter. But against that mid-tier hand, I think there's a chance he has Queen 9 he calls, right? When he improves especially. So I think it's worth a go. Moodash, you have limped the buttons and you've checked this board. Should we go for it or not? I'm going to go for a little block kind of bet here because if Moodash doesn't have an ace, I think he folds. He does have obviously limped a fair few of aces. But also it's a spot where like I think we have a decent hand, but not a hand that we want to call against a bet. And by betting small, I think we control the action and we can sometimes turn a hand into a bluff against the big blind, especially a bit into the button. Some rivers maybe. Facing a raise and a call, we just fold and we're fine with that. Mouton says, GG for the win. That's a nice jump for the challenge. Thank you very much, Mouton. I'm quite happy because we have definitely been ticking along. Like we didn't add our $10 now, did we? I think we've had about 1 or 2 losing sessions. And then the rest have been pretty smooth winning. We've definitely won a lot of 10x's, which helps a lot. So yeah, I'm happy to see progress. And I think we started at a nice kind of comfortable number. So $100, I think, you know, is definitely, for probably most people watching, attainable as a poker bankroll. And so the idea was to kind of like go step by step to try and demonstrate that it still can be done in 2022. You can still build a nice bankroll, even playing low stakes and spins, which I know are 2 things that some people are perhaps skeptical of. But definitely nice jump for the challenge, yeah. Just 50 more of those and we're done. And of course we still could just hit the big spin and then happy days, you know what I mean? We'll go for a C-bet against Moodas. Quick call. Probably a turn there's lots of donking on from his position. So the question is, do we get enough king high or ace side to fold if we bet the turn? I don't think too much. We do heavily interact with what we want him to have. So what do we want to have? We want to have hands like 10-9 of spades or Jack 8 of clubs or something. He can't have either of those. So I think just check in here. If he goes check, check. Sorry, if he checks, I don't know how much respect he'll get. We could jam or something. That would be an option. I just don't think... We have jammed against this guy before, so I'd expect our second jam to have less fold equity than our first jam. Just going to check. Maybe we win. But also, we get to see what he has as well, which is not a terrible thing. And an ace high seems pretty reasonable. Isaac says, you got a lot of respect for that turn, but the king 10. Yeah. Went well. I'm going to try a little bet here. Probably gets through. Raise, cool. Maybe not then. Maybe not so much. Min C-Bup's a nice 2-4 rainbow. Could go for a little raise here. I think it's kind of cool because I think typically better hands will go a bit bigger. Sometimes. He might just min bet range, but I suspect he wouldn't. And then the response to this is to click back a lot, and I suspect he wouldn't. Of course, I'm immediately proven wrong, and well done, Moodas, for actually showing me immediately how it should be done. We'll call, I guess. 1.5 to win 12 is a pretty nice price with our hand. An ace comes, and so like 4-2 now is no longer beating us, if that was in his range. Could go for a little 2BB here. I think it's a nice way to overrule his equity. Just check jams. Really? Really? So, he's min raise pre, bet the flop min, immediately click back. This is just a bluff, isn't it? Ah. I ran out of time. I think it's a bluff. Maybe we should check back. It did feel like the check raise was coming on that turn. I mean, he is uncapped, right? And we are uncapped. And but what's he supposed to be bluffing with? I just says, are you playing any live events this year, Tomo? Yes. The Party Poker Diamond Club Elite tournament should be happening. It was supposed to be the Bahamas last year in January. We're all very excited with that. And then the Bahamas got cancelled, and they said, don't worry, instead of the Bahamas, we've got Cyprus in September. Very nice, Cyprus. Oh, that'd be nice. Still on a beach, you know what I mean? Still in an island resort getaway. Nice, Cyprus. Okay, yeah, that'll be fine. And they said, sorry, we've cancelled Cyprus. It's become a Luxon event, not a Party Poker event. Would you be interested in Nottingham in December? So I told the missus, and I said, remember that Bahamas trip I promised you? Yeah, we're going to Nottingham. And she was like, I was like, maybe you don't really need your swimming costume or your sunglasses. Just big, big woolen coat. I probably should bet this river, but I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, that has been rescheduled, and that will now be happening this summer, I think, in Canada, which would be very exciting. So we go to Canada, we'll go see Jack, go meet Jack and Jason and the gang. Lots of 601 guys there as well. So that'll be very exciting to see the lads and lasses. But I'm very excited. Yeah, it'll be a 5K or something. Muna is a genius. Muna might be a genius. It's always a possibility. Arxos says, who else cannot wait for the EV Challenge results? So, for those who are unaware, the EV Challenge is 2601 had a competition for the last 3 months about who could get the highest GPV over a 12k sample at Ultras, and I think it was a 4k sample at Reg Speeds or something. So still, up. Let's do one more Ultra. Still the possibility of some variants and stuff happening, but certainly I think, yeah, very interesting. I unfortunately came a little bit short in terms of the volume requirements. Mr. ZZ says there's a bet, click, check, shove, and Tomo's talking to himself. He has the bluff line. Yeah, he's bluffing, isn't he? He's shown so much weakness. Oh, the double check, the bet raise, check raise line. I think that's pretty overbluffed as a line. You know what I mean? Because it just knows that we're weak. So, and we did have a fantastic bluff blocker as well. 6365. You can't have those, mate. We've got a 6. So, thank you, Mr. ZZ, for actually providing some realism. We'll be calling. What do we want them to have? Both have pocket 8s. Alright. 10, queen, ace. 10, queen, ace. That's a shame. Unicorn says, thanks, mate. You've already got a booking. You've already got a booking, Axos. You just vaguely mentioned, like, oh yeah, maybe a few guys, and there's already like 6 people like, yeah, cheers, yep, booked. Axos, you're going to have to get a hotel, mate. We're taking the entire house. We'll go for a call. Mouton says, what is your top room for making money in spins? Counting that we would have good VIP program for each of them between something and something, winner and GG. Is that party? Stars.com, party.com, winner and GG, I guess is what you meant to say. Ooh. I don't really like the snap jam from calling these spots. I'm actually just going to fold. I know this is... yeah, shouldn't be a fold, but I actually think it's probably fine to slightly, marginally borderline fold there, probably. All right, checking. So, what is the top move to make money in spins? The 2 sites that I've played on with decent volume spinning goes in my career are PokerStars and Party Poker, and technically also way back in the day was PokerStars.France, back when that was an option. And both of them are absolutely fine. Yeah. Honestly, like, I think it's very close. I don't think there's a huge difference in any of the sites. The market's pretty good. When there's like a really good site that's like, oh, look at this, full of recreationals. You got to play here. What should we do here, ladies and gentlemen? 9 big blinds. So 7, 8, 8, 9, not so much in his range because he shoves them pre. So he is a bit more weighted towards 6x. We definitely have bluffs here. I'm going to go for a 1.5 and fold to a jam. 4x is definitely in his range too, but I think he snaps a 6 here. And I think he jams a 4. And he might even call like ace high here sometimes, an ace 5, an ace 7, something like that. If he perceives that we might be over bluffing. He turned up with an 8-6, so 6x is right, yeah. Could we have gone bigger? Like GTO possibly goes bigger there just because it's like happy, it just stacks off and like whatever. But I think given traditional calling ranges, I'm not sure people would call a jam to a 6x there, given that we're uncapped and they would be perceived uncapped. So I think a smaller bet is more profitable. But I could be wrong. So yeah, Mouton, I think I really liked... I like both Party and Stars. I think other sites are probably fine as well. I don't know enough about them to recommend or not recommend them. I think Party is really... The strengths and weaknesses between the two, Party and PokerStars, would be... Party is good if you're not that bothered about having a HUD. It's a bit of an advantage because then, of course, no one has a HUD on Party and there's fewer hands. All hand history is anonymized, which is nice as well. So you can't just go and get... I can't pull up a database of Don Barone and be like, here's every hand I've ever played against Don Barone. It's good if you take notes. I take, obviously, quite extensive notes instead. And Party Poker is also good if you can, I think, compete for the leaderboards. And especially if you can get close to Diamond Club or Diamond Club Elite. I do think Party Poker at the top end will offer an ROI... let's say a yearly EV that is more attainable for more people compared to Stars. Probably. Back when Party had the 250s and 500s, I think Party was quite comfortably like preferable for the high stakes playing there than Stars. These days now, I'm not so sure. I mean, it's no high stakes, right? So if you want to play 250s plus, you got to play Stars. So yeah. But it depends. What a surprise, that's the answer to the question. Nazgar says, hi, how many hours do you other pros average monthly? Do you think 30 hours is enough? So I mean, there's no like minimum. You play as many hours as you like, but I would say most in terms of playtime, I would say 100 hours is kind of like typically we consider that sort of like basement level, if you like, of like, if it's your only job, it would be sensible, I think, to kind of give it the respect or something it deserves by putting 100 hours in. There are guys who play less, there are guys who play more, but if you play loads more, it can get a bit of a challenge in terms of, if you play 200 hours a month, you can do that the odd month, but like to sustainably play 200 hours a month does require, I think, a little bit of a dodgy work-life balance. So, for example, in December last month, I played a lot of hours. I played something like 160 hours, and then I had about 50 hours coaching time. So it was about 210 hours. And then on top of that, of course, I did my other stuff, and it was like, I was definitely playing too much. It was definitely not sustainable. But I was giving it a big push towards the end of the year, trying to see if I could compete get the volume target in for a little 6-round competition, which I didn't end up getting, which was sad. But